Welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you who might be wondering what this is, well, this is Dungeons & Dragons. Or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons. So if this isn't something you want to watch, well, we started and we're not going to change. So you either get used to it or... See on the left, there is a space with our other things that are currently live. You can always go there. But you might not be in luck because I know that there's a few other D&D stuff currently live. So strap in, it's going to be Dungeons & Dragons. But for everyone else who wants to be here, who intentionally is here, who appreciate being here with us for some reason, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And if you're new to the channel, but you're actually here because you want to be here, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you as a new follower. I hope, at least. But if not, well, just a viewer. That's about all the thanks that needs to be said. As always, there's Chaotic Calling, who is most likely gonna join us as a raid in something like 30 or 30 minutes. And there is Kearney City Guild, who lets us post on their Discord page to get a few more viewers. So if you're from either of those places, say hi just in the chat. It's always fun to know that it's there. And I just learned that it actually helps the stats when you actually do say hi in the chat. So help us in any way you can. It's very much appreciated. Just hi. And don't post link about selling stuff that you're not supposed to sell.
That's for the DMs only.
Yeah, and even then, you know, I've never been too strong on that thing. If you want to know who those two sites are, there are panels. If you're watching us on Twitch, there's panels below. One that says special thanks to people supporting us. So you'll get a link for Kearney City Guild Discord and Chaotic Calling Twitch page. The other link for there is for the music and ambiance that I am slowly adding to the channel. So at one point there might even be music while I'm talking right now, so it's not so boring just listening to me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But until then, you're gonna have to listen to a lot of talk because I only have a handful of music right now. But that's what the other link is. If you are interested in making some or finding some, it's a place where you can go. And that's about it. All right. Well then, let's get started. So, previously, well, there's not a lot to tell because all of the quests picked by the party had been fulfilled. They went back to the garden and saw that there was a call to arms by a lovely red-haired priest that not only audience liked, but also had asked to kept in the loop about the quest that she had taken, because it's a quest that the party's action had generated. So she requested help, and a lot of adventurers from the garden answered the call. So they all went on their merry way. Large group of adventurers. They've already had a little bit of problems, and also a little bit of less devastating problem. A little bit of experimentation was done also on the road, but now they are finally at the entrance of the mountains, where this larger quest is going to take place. As they have been told, the wolf cult, the hunter god cult, all different names that it has been called, lies somewhere inside the mountains. They don't know exactly where, because the area where they've been attacking the poor priestess is quite large. So now they are at the foot of this mountain. The party has already separated in two. Many of the adventurers went to the let's just call it back exit of this mountain, of this path, while the rest of the group goes in the front and start their investigation of this rather large portion of terrain. That's what I forgot. I wanted to show you what the map looked like. We'll try and do this sometime tonight, or if not, maybe I'll just post it on the Twitter. That'll give you a reason to visit, because we're still at just 6 followers there, and we've been there for over a year, so it would be very much appreciated if you also went there. But for now, we're just gonna start on this. So, Jorg, audience, Remy, and Fisher, you are standing at the foot of this mountainous area. Half of the adventurers have went away. Some have went by air. Some of them went by trees. But you are going in by foot. The party that you are on right now has greatly diminished. As I've said, a lot of people have just kept on going. But with you, you can see around in the immediate surrounding Darkahin, the Dragonborn, which seems to be a weird mix of monk and sorcerer. There's Longshot, the halfling monk, also. You have amongst your group, there is Cathan, of course, which is the leader of the expedition. There is Demis and Lucen, a thief and a ranger, human both. You also have Bertrand, a eldritch knight also. You have with you Siaf, the half-elven archer, and Coven, who is also taking the path with you. Yeah, and those are all those who have started this ascension with you. So, Jorg, audience, Fisher, and Remy, what are you doing as you are entering this mountainous area? That's always a good start.
Pick a rock by accident.
I am going to summon my cat. Because I want to be able to go fast.
You wanna help poor Orunak being supported and go faster. This is so kind of you.
No. I want to go scout ahead on my cat.
Okay. So, you concentrate, you give the prayer that you have been inspired by your god to recite one morning, and probably a little bit of inspiration from Corinth, who also already know the more impressive version of the same spell. And there is a short moment. How long does it take for this to appear? Okay. 10-minute casting. Okay, so it's a bit of a complex ritual. So you really see audience isolate himself for a moment, start praying. It's a very elaborate prayer. Takes a while. Just keeps on mumbling. Well, I'd say you're a dragonborn. You're probably not mumbling this prayer. You're probably saying it loud and proud.
I want everyone to hear my 10 minutes of random prayer. They need to know what I'm doing.
Are you gonna? Do we need to wait for you? Or are you gonna catch up? Do we have to wait for you to be done with this?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there?
Oh,
Lean over to George. Is he just ignoring me?
It seems like he seems pretty concentrated on whatever he's doing.
You hear Ogunag just go, yeah, it's not normal for him. I've never seen it like this. It's almost scary. Look at the determination on his face. This gives me chills. Got something to eat?
Oh.
After...
I mean, is he actually doing anything, though? Isn't he just, like... He's just asking for his god to give him something, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's not actually casting a spell. It's just praying.
Looks a bit like it. But look, he's frowning right now. It's hard to tell, but look, there's just between his eyes, there's this little wrinkle. It's
Yeah.
After a good 10 minutes of being mocked by your friends, the prayer eventually ends, and suddenly you see appearing from behind a rock. You hear it's a giant form, so it's a loud growl, purring sound, and then suddenly a giant snow leopard just jumps up at the top of a rock. And have you thought of a special appearance for him? It, she, fae, monster? I don't know.
Yeah, it is fae. It is not
Okay.
demonic or celestial.
Alright. And in terms of what it looks like, did you think of something, or just the average, normal?
It looks like, obviously, just a very large snow leopard, but it has very golden eyes like mine. Its eyes match my eye color, which is golden. And, besides that, it just looks like a large snow leopard.
So it's a black and white version of Battle Cat in He-Man.
I do have a name for it, though.
Yeah.
Which is.
It stands there, proud, looking at everyone under it. You can feel its presence. You can feel its thought, because, hey, summon steed are intelligent, so you do have a telepathic bond with it.
Yeah.
So it is standing there, proud, looking at everyone that is there, immediately recognizing you. You call the master.
Thank you for appearing, Magna. Its full name is Magna Visu, which means great eyesight in Latin, if anyone wants the full. But call it Magna for short, which just means great. Thank you for coming, Magna. And then I'll turn to the rest of the party. I'd be like, I'm going to go try and scout ahead and above us, see if I can catch wind of any potential ambushes or danger that could be waiting for us in the mountains while our party travels.
You have a few.
Thanks.
You have a few people watching you. Just go.
I've never seen such a beast.
Do you know where you're going?
I assume up the path that we are headed.
You
And if you do find trouble, you're gonna circle back and come get us, right? You're not just gonna try and fight it on your own.
Of course, I say with a wink. at
Do I
Fisher.
believe it?
Well, there was a wink involved, so I don't know.
Make an inside with advantage? I don't know.
Meanwhile, Raimi is
14.
stretching them in the place where he knows he likes it.
And he's like, I have this, it's just smaller.
So you see Remy just arriving and starting scratching the snow leopard at the right place, and you hear for a moment in your mind, audience, oh, yeah.
It's a loud rumble.
Yeah, on the outside, you just hear the faintest. Well, it's still a large cat, so you hear a half a second of purring, and then it just goes back to.
I mean, you can roll inside if you want, Fisher. That's all I say, and then I'm gonna go to this.
I rolled a 14.
I was being. I was. Audience didn't really know whether he was being honest or not. He might have been. There's about a 50-50.
It's a
Fair.
50-50. That's always good.
Well, at the very least, sound shout or something. I don't know. So we know to try and catch up.
All right. And then I will get on the cat and kind of bound up away from the party and do some scouting.
All right. As you're leaving, of course, you hear Kathan just go, you can just keep on going into the path. Usually, until the next town, there's not a lot of problem. Usually, it's just a little after that. So, stay alert. You know, there's other dangers than just the hunter cult in here. There's a few bandits. I've come across a few orcs. There's also danger from above, so be mindful of that. And just be careful and come back as soon as you have something, and try not to take on more than you can take. She seems to be more distracted by the cat than you, and not because she has a problem with the cat, but more because sort of watching a live cat video for her. It's so cute.
Big fluffy kitty. It's distracting.
Big fluffy.
You know, I always knew that audience needed a magnum.
All right, audience will give her a nod and say, "Do not fear. I do not plan to take on more than I can handle." And then I'll bound away.
Okay, so are you paying attention to your surrounding?
I mean, yes, but hopefully much more my cat is paying attention to its surroundings, because I think that's going to matter a little bit more than me. Since it gets perception +5, and I get perception 0.
well, that's one of the oddest thing. All right. Let's see.
Also, it has a better passive perception than I do.
Well, yeah, you have a telepathic bond with it. You know, you're not gonna talk about philosophical thing because it's only 6 intelligence, but it's already good enough to learn how to read and write. So, yeah, and I'd say because it is aware, you can make a perception with advantage if you are or it is helping you, and I guess you are helping it, so it's making a roll with a perception roll with advantage.
Oh.
That seems like the smarter idea.
Well, that night I'm probably not going to beat that 19, but yeah, no, I'm not. All right, so 19 plus 5, so that's a 24 on perception.
Wow! For the first time, you are riding this giant cat, and you are picking up things that you never saw before. Details. It's incredible. You didn't know there was this much life around you.
I can see everything.
There's this.
Is this how Remy always feels? There's so much color in this world.
And also because you have a telepathic bond with your steed, there's also a little bit of everything he's perceiving through his senses. So you also get a little bit of the wind and smells and wow, and everything he pays attention to, you sort of immediately go, oh, wow.
Audience is having a great time. He's enjoying it.
He's also smelling Fisher's leaking tree sap for the first time, and now he can't unsmell it.
Well, I don't think I'm with the party, so I don't think I'm smelling Fisher.
No, from that far away. Just
Well, it's a giant cat.
It doesn't still smell that bad. That's Terry's vomit that I have stuck in a vial. That's what's making the smell.
Oh, and also, it's a giant cat. It's not a giant dog. Alright, so. You are moving up the path, and for the better part of an hour, it's just all of the new sensations that you have with your new partner now, and you didn't know that so many things. You sort of realize for the first thing, where are the people coming from whenever they attack you and you're surprised? It's sort of the first time that you realize, oh wow, someone could be hiding there. And there. Whoa. But after an hour, the new element of it just dulls down just a little bit, and you stop just going at everything. Is oh, that's interesting. And then after an hour, you start feeling the monotony of the area, but your attention is drawn to something to your right, placed rather high, but you look quickly. Oh, something. But it's just a shadow, but the shadow was odd, large, and it just seemed to vanish a few moments after you looked at it.
I'll keep my eye on that area. It's like, I'll pay extra attention to the area where I last saw the shadow as I continue to scout.
Okay. So you keep on going, and nothing catches your eyes for the next hour. You paid attention for a long while where you saw the shadow. It was very high up. It seemed to be like on the side of... What's the sound here? Okay. I'm hearing a weird sound in my microphone. On the side of a cliff, maybe inside a mountain. That's where it seemed like it was. Not sure. You think that it was watching you for a while, but you don't get any other glimpse of it, and no other occurrence of this thing. But you do spend the rest of your scouting expedition with the odd feeling that, alright, we are being watched. But no move seems to be done to attack or do something with this.
So to be fair, audience is used to being watched.
He just never understood where it was coming from. It's the first time. Oh, I can be watched from up and down, not just straight forward. The new possibilities.
Alright. I will probably then kind of head back once I've scouted. So I'd say I'd scout for about probably 2. I'd kind of come back to the rest of the party and report what I'd seen.
So, while audience is going and then coming back, he went on forward for about an hour, and he's most likely gonna 2 hours, and he's most likely gonna take maybe another hour or something like that to get back to you. So you have 3 hours without audience in the group and just everyone else. Is there anything you'd like to do in those 3 hours, or do I jump to the next event, whatever it may be?
It's impressive audience found a cat large enough to carry him.
Yeah, that thing's gotta have back problems pretty soon.
You hear Orunag go, I don't know, looked like a big cat, and it smelled a bit nature-y to me. Might not completely be normal. I mean,
Sure that wasn't just your own leaves.
you can't be normal if you're his cat, huh? Should have said that while he was there.
Yeah, I think we're good to skip forward.
Like, at the very least, the Raimi over the next 3 hours is like he's gonna be kind of looking around, but he's also just has like his bloodhound out, and similar to what he'd been trying to do like some nights ago, he's just trying to like see if he can get it to vibrate like he did before, but without striking it against another piece of metal.
Okay. Can anyone see if the Twitch is working? Because I have a message here that the connection's been lost.
It looks fine.
Okay, and it's just me.
That's not for me.
Okay, then it's just a me problem. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's certainly not. I mean, you already know how to focus energy to use as magic, and you've seen Fisher use Green Flame Blade before, so you know it's possible to channel energy inside a weapon, and you know how magic works. So, of course, you don't have an abundance of target right now as you're moving, but still.
Well, yeah, it's like he's more just trying to practice and sustain it. You know, just trying to make the trip make the most of his time.
Okay.
Yes, it's just like just intermittently, like Raimi will just be focusing a little bit.
Just trying to get it to
just, like,
vibrate. And...
fades a little bit, then just like concentrates a little harder, like maybe gets a little stronger, but then fades a bit, and he just practices doing that for 3 hours.
Well, that's a little long, but you know, eventually you sort of start understanding the principles behind focusing energy inside of a blade. You're getting there. All right. So takes a few hours. Oh, I don't know. I guess it's just my pad that just can't connect to Twitch. That's odd. All right. So yeah, I made a few modification to what goes on in the background on the stream because I was trying to settle the audio desync. So if bad things happens, it's probably because of that. All right, so it takes a few hours, but eventually you do see audience coming back, and 3 hours have passed. Audience, you find everyone still together. Remy looks a little bit more focused than usual. Focused on a single point. Usually he's more, ooh, what's going on here? But now it's more focused on his blade. But other than that, and realizing that a few other people are also paying attention to what's happening around. Sorry. You get back to the group without problems. But the feeling of being watched doesn't go away.
I'll mention as I get back, when I give my report about how I saw the shadow and the feeling of being watched as I continued, I'll be like, I don't think we're completely alone, but there have been no hostile movements towards myself or anyone else yet.
Yeah. I mean, they keep. I'll just say that they keep to their territory, a little bit. It's all right.
We
Well,
are still a pretty big group. It would be daring to attack us.
yeah, of course. But still, it's let's just say that they don't come out of their zone a lot, but they do pay attention. I've come across them a number of times.
Who are they?
The cult?
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was something spookier out here, but
Oh no, definitely there are other things. But I was talking about the cult. No, it's.
I mean, let me tell
okay.
you about the Wendigo. Yeah, that's them you got to watch out for.
We're in the mountains. If you're not careful, there are often ogres, sometimes giants. If you're really unlucky, you might meet a rock. And I do mean rock, not boulder.
oh,
So
a big bird.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be spooky.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like just a smaller rock, not like a big rock.
I was thinking about the Shroom's guardian rock.
It's really
Forgot
simple,
his
Raimi.
name.
Just follow the rock and everyone dies.
Yeah, I'm not sure you should follow that advice. Whoever gave it to you, is he still alive?
Well, is it good advice? I mean, it's correct. Like, if you follow it, you're gonna die.
Well, yeah. Well, it always depends on what you're trying to do, you know. But
Oh no, for clarity, he didn't say follow the rock. He said fall the rock.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
That's better advice.
yeah. But yeah. All right. So, yeah, we have to be careful. Usually they don't start attacking until further down the path. But hey, it's always unpleasant to come across an enemy when you don't expect it. Alright, well. Let's see. Lucen, you're usually good with this. Try and make a few circles a bit wider than the group. You see the human ranger. Yeah, alright. You see him just move a little bit off, and suddenly he disappears. in the background. But we should be alright up until the next town. Anything else that you saw?
No, nothing of import.
Alright. Well then, let's keep on going. So you keep on going, and say for the rest of 2 or 3 hours. Oh, good news! The rain has stopped. So as you keep on walking, yeah, of course the air gets a little bit colder in the mountains, especially when it's really is surrounded by things everywhere around you. It is getting just a little bit colder, but not unpleasantly cold, just a little bit. So you keep on moving, and for the next few hours, other than the sound of rocks falling and a little stone getting loose, you mostly just spend your time walking up a dirt path that has less and less vegetation as you move up. Until when sun starts to fade in the background, you start seeing a little town. You hear Caithan go, "Ah, yeah, okay. We're arriving at this little town. This is going to be the last place where we can get a little rest. There's not a lot of village in the mountains. They've often had problems with small group of orcs and a few bandits. So they usually all have walled centers. So not a lot of village, but it's fortunate because you can actually get a decent night of sleep, even though you might not feel all that safe while you're walking. At least usually in the towns, it's fine. So I know the innkeeper. Just follow me. I can get you something to relax a bit. So she leads everyone in. And as this day slowly starts fading and you see the sun setting, temperature seems to be clearing up. You actually get a decent clear sky as you're entering this town, with a few cold breeze moving down towards where you are. You realize as you're walking to this town that the center of town breaks in a Y shape, and after a little moment you hear Caithan go, "Alright, well, this is our last stop until we start getting into danger. In the morning we're gonna split up in 2 groups. One's gonna take the left path and one's gonna take the right path. But until we get there, get a good night's sleep, and if there's anything you need to do it, because, yeah, you know, like my mother used to say, it's not gonna be time to go peeing once we're out. So
Seems like there's only plenty of places to pee out here.
I'm pretty sure it was just a figure of speech, you know. I spent a lot of my time in caravans when I was young. So they don't like it when the children starts saying, "Oh, I want to go pee." But I'm not expecting you to go pee. Come on. Alright, well, go around. Just down this path, and she points toward the right path. Maybe 2 buildings away. There's a larger inn. I'm gonna just go there and get a room for everyone. Well, unless someone doesn't want a room, I think they can accommodate everyone. So we're just gonna.
I'll take a room.
All right. Well,
I'm good. I don't need a room.
all right. All right then. One less room. That's always good. All right. Well, let's go. Do whatever you have to do. You see her walk down that path, and maybe 2 buildings from the center of town, she books and enter a building.
I guess I will hop off my snow leopard and tell it just to, scout around for the night. Just keep to, the edge of the village to not frighten anyone. It can just kind of wander around there. Let me know if anything happens.
Right, of course. He moves away.
And then I'll head to the inn.
All right. Well, it is a rustic inn. You get the feeling that these places, they aren't towns exactly. They're fortified village. But since you've seen no place where you can actually grow anything outside, there's sort of this, okay. So it's all of the houses of a town bunched up behind walls, which makes it, of a village, bunched up behind walls. So basically, it's a village. But because of the quantity of houses near one another, it feels like a town. You get a lot of people just looking at you, and you hear a few whispers. You got more travelers. I wonder what they're here for. But it's mostly just that you hear in the background, and people being curious. They don't see that many people in the area. You going directly to the inn? Is there something you'd like to buy?
I am. I don't know what the rest of it might be.
All right.
You know what? Radia's going to, before he actually goes into the town village proper.
Okay.
He is going to find a sizable but sturdy rock that he can carry.
Easy enough to do. Just roll a perception to see how long it takes you to find one that you like.
Oh, what's that? Rady with a high perception roll. What's that about? 23.
Doesn't take you long. You take a few minutes, you go outside, and you see some of the guard just looking at you a little bit strange. You get the feeling that they haven't seen a lot of large birds come inside their town. But they let you leave, and it takes maybe 10 minutes before they see you coming back with a large rock in your hands. You get a confused look from one. The other one just go. And they let you in. They remember you coming in with the large group and just getting back out a minute after. So they know you're with the large party of people that just invested their town.
I think just in general, he leaves a visual impression. Just in general.
Especially when you're not used to having weird stuff. Alright, so what did you...
With this new rock, he goes to the inn.
So you get everyone just arriving at the inn slowly. One comes in, another one comes in. They start talking, and then suddenly you see this bird entering the inn with a rock in his hand. A large rock. Alright, well, the inn is pretty quiet. As you arrive, you just hear Cathan go, yeah, that's look like a fair price. Alright, here you go. And she gives him a bunch of coins. All right. She turns around. Oh, good, good. All right. At least someone's here. So, who wants to be near who? We have most of the inn to ourselves. There's only one caravan, actually. It's inside the town right now. And they're leaving tomorrow. So, they're mostly sleeping in their stuff. So, we have the most of the tavern to ourselves. And the villagers, of course, gonna coming in any minute now, I think. Drinking a bit. Probably want to know what all of this is about. And some of them are to be curious. So who wants to be near one another? And she has a whole bunch of keys in her hand.
I have no preference.
Alright, then you're getting... And she takes one key random and gives you one. You're getting this key.
I'll take it.
Remy has suddenly appeared next to audience.
Audience is not paying attention to the keys. He is paying attention to what is on tap.
So a lot of people takes different keys. She looks at you, Remy, when you arrive, and since you just pop up behind audience, and I guess you want to have a key near his. So here you go. You're gonna get this key, and apparently you have an admirer who wants a key near yours, and she gives you audience a key. All right. Well, I hope you like goat-related product. It's something that they have a lot here. Goat milk, goat meat, goat special.
I like
Don't
goat.
don't order the festive goat. It's or at least if you order it, don't go in the kitchen and see what. Oh, sorry. Don't go. Don't go in the kitchen and see. Just don't go in the kitchen and see what's inside. Sorry. And she moves away. Starts handing out keys to everyone else.
Well, I gotta know. Hold on.
You have to know.
Maybe I'll order it.
Okay.
What about you, audience? Now do you
No.
have to know?
No. Audience is more looking around to see who he can order it for without them knowing. How many people did he think didn't hear Cathans? Little speech.
Make a perception roll.
13.
13. You look around and damn, you miss your cat right now. It's so much easier. But you look around and you do notice that a few people didn't seem to be paying attention at all to what she was saying. They were already sitting on a table. You recognize Longshot, who is just playing with all of his knife and darts and sharpening them. Really didn't seem to have been paying attention. You see Demis, who's a female thief, who is just in the corner, and she wasn't paying attention to what Cathan was saying. She was paying attention to the door, and as soon as her brother arrives in, she just signals him to get next, come and join her. And Bertrand seems to have been already up exploring the upper floor. So you see him actually coming down from the second floor. And he wasn't there for Caitlin's speech
Alright.
about this.
I'm gonna point to those four and kind of give a nod to the keeper, like, They all want the goat special. I got they told me beforehand. They were very excited about it on the trail.
I too will take the festive goat.
Or the festive goat. Whatever.
Right. Yeah, all right. It's always good. It's always good for the economy when people ask this. It's just, no, good. He turns around, got a little bit of a jovial human, wide shoulders. Looks like someone who likes to laugh a little and probably drinks a little too much at the end of the day. Then, all right. So, we're gonna have 5 festive goat. Hey, come on, we're getting through everything we have. That's gonna be good. All right. What about you?
I will just have some regular goat meat, some cheese, and a drink.
Yeah. Well, we have those. Of course, they're from goats. I hope you like goat cheese.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's
then
fun.
we're gonna have that.
By the way, is Fisher in the inn right now?
That's a good question.
Don't see why not.
Unfortunate. Okay.
Fortunate.
What's unfortunate about
No, I was gonna go over to all of them and then say that Fisher had been feeling generous tonight and had paid for all of their meals.
Oh.
Fortunately, he's there.
I mean, you could try.
You can still do it.
You could stealth it. You both are equally bad at perception.
I am okay at perception. I just roll bad.
No, audience will see Fisher there. He'll be like, you know what? It's okay.
Okay, I'll correct myself. You both roll consistently pretty low whenever it relates.
No, you know what audience will do? Audience will turn to Remy and be like, Remy, can you go tell those 4 I pointed to that Fisher paid for their meals tonight, and they don't have to worry about it?
Oh, the conflict. So, Remy, do you do this?
Go ahead and make a persuasion, just because there is this slight conflict of interest between two people he likes.
I don't even know what I rolled. 14.
Yeah, that's good enough. It's like like Raimi, like, you know, in spite of recent events, still very much admires audience and his attention, and so when asked to do something, Raimi just like walks over to those 4 and just literally repeating in audience's voice. It's actually shit. What was your specific wording?
Fisher was feeling generous, so he bought them a meal. Should be a little off, but they don't have to worry about it.
But yeah, then they just hear in audience's voice like Fisher was feeling generous and has bought you all this special goat.
Jeez. It feels like I'm trying to attack audience. I haven't rolled a single roll above 10.
Audience plans go up the edge.
Okay. All right. So you, after a little while, you see the innkeeper, maybe 20 minutes, comes out of the kitchen, and there's a good smell that comes out of it. Everything is apparently well seasoned. This festive goat comes in sort of like a meat pie. So there's crust all around it. You can't see what's inside, but there are hints of spices that you've never smelled before. But I'd say close to cloverleaf. Not cloverleaf, but just clovers. Cloves.
Cloves?
Exactly. And maybe a hint of cinnamon. But yeah, cinnamon's kind of pricey, so it's maybe it's a mix of herbs that gives a cinnamony smell to it. But hey, you've got these generous meat pie looking things coming out, and it smells good. And you see him just go out, and all right, so who ordered what? And the audience, he gives you a piece of goat meat. There's a little bit of goat cheese, a little bit more solid than you're used to, but hey, I've made food sampling of goat cheese, so I know that it exists very hard also. And you're not sure what's inside the mug, but it's presented to you as some sort of alcohol that relates to goat somehow. So maybe a fermented milk in a way that makes a little bit like a mead or something like that. You're not sure, but hey, you look around and you see other peasants, other people from the town drinking it, so okay. Either way, it's an acquired taste or it's actually really good.
I will tell you what Audie thinks about it in 1 second. It's an acquired taste, apparently. It's not great.
So apparently you like the... Alright, so I think you said once you like things that are spicy. Wasn't there a second thing? You like spicy
Yeah, the
stuff?
Leviathan. I really like the Leviathan meat.
Strong taste and spicy stuff. So when you drink it, at first you sort of get this, oh, nothing very special about this. And then you get this extra sweet taste. Whoa! Feels like you're gonna lose a tooth just by drinking this. Because it's so sweet. Whew. I don't know. Maybe they need to ferment this for just a little bit more. It's sort of like mead before it fermented into alcohol. So it's basically...
To be fair, audience will put... He's not as interested in what he's eating as what other people are eating tonight. So he's more... He's paying a lot, very attentive to other tables more than his own.
Remy, what did you order?
He probably would have ordered a standard mutton, but he also would have ordered a drink, especially because he was really focused earlier in the day.
Okay.
And just wanted his brain to relax for a bit.
All right. Well, for audience and Remy, you can just... Well, for everyone. Jorg, audience, and Remy, you can subtract the money.
I bought a couple people's meals. So, let's see, I bought 4 people's meals on top of mine. So that would be...
Yeah, just go for the usual
3.
that you've taken for this.
So.
It's going to be good. All right. But for...
Unless the meal was part of the... well, okay, I'm going to just go subtract. Okay, it's fine. I'm just going to check 10 silver.
I know, usually it's the usual for lodging and then usual for meal.
Okay.
All right. So, you get this, you eat your stuff, you distractingly drink your alcohol. Remy, you distractingly drink your probably non-alcohol thing. Jorg, long shot, Demis, Lucen, and Bertrand. You all... Oh, okay, this is cool. This is interesting. Pie. You know. Nothing wrong with that.
Lot can be lurking under the
The
crust.
smell is good. The smell is actually very interesting. If you like cloves, if you like cinnamon, definitely the smell is interesting to you. And alright, so you just dig in. And well, if you want to know how you like it, you can always roll. Just roll a d20 and give me the result.
$16.
16. It's not bad, you know. The spices in there or herbs really brings it up together. You're not sure what's inside because every time you just dig in and you look at this, everything looks like it's been thoroughly grounded into unrecognizable something. It's really hard to figure out what's inside. You know, you get bits of meat that's interesting. There's something that's soft inside. There's little bits that feels chewy. And there's this interesting sauce inside. You know, it's okay. Interesting tastes. Oh wow. Everyone seems to like it, except Lucen, who just eats a few bites and you see him react very adversely to it. Oh, yeah. He just distractingly eats a few, but most of his dish he leaves aside. The others, it's good. They eat it.
Okay. Audience then, as after he has seen that they have all eaten it, will beckon over the innkeeper.
Alright, so he's moderately busy, just serving things and yeah, a little bit of help. Hey, what can I do for you?
Well, you know, all of my Jorg here and those, I'll point to those four, enjoyed the festive goat so much. They would have loved, they would love to hear how you made it, if you'd be willing to tell them.
Okay, well, yeah. That's usually people don't really want to hear it, but yeah, of course.
It's like one of those
Please just
documentaries on like the
tour
meat
the kitchen.
industry that you watch in high school health class.
All right, all right. It's usually people don't ask the recipe when they leave. They just ask around, and when they learn what's inside, they just. But hey, if they want the recipe, of course. So he turns around, looks at you, Jorg, looks at Demis and Lucen, Bertrand, and Longshot, and he signals you to come closer, you know, and he makes part of the distance between all of you, sort of go right at the center of this, and right, friend of yours tells me that you liked it so much you wanted to have the recipe of this. My wife is gonna be overjoyed. You know, it's her own thing. It's her own discovery. Well, as I'm sure you've noticed that there's a few spices. It's actually not cinnamon that's inside. It's a different kind of plant that you can find everywhere. I know it's a bit odd. You might see it, but hey, if you see it, don't let the appearance repulse you. It looks ugly. There is a little bit of white stuff just dripping out of the flowers, but if you just cut the flowers and let it dry out, it gives this incredible smell and this very good spicy taste. But for everything else, well, you know, we have to use everything we can when we make something here. We can't waste anything. So basically, anything that's not used from the goat, just put it in a large grounder. Ground it up as much as you can and just put it in. Everything. The entrails, what's inside the knees. There's always a little bit stuff inside the knees. There's the tongue that no one likes usually. Don't forget the eyes. They add moisture to it all. Empty the skull, The brains. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's actually a very meaty stuff. You start seeing Demis just go...
I'm glad to hear you're using the whole animal though. That's very
I knew George was going to
good of you.
Hey, this guy.
And
This wasn't a prank on George.
Finally, somebody gets it.
and of course, not a lot of people knows this, but what's inside of their stomach, as long as it hasn't left, it's actually pretty good. I know some people will frown at this. It's basically pre-digested food that you're just reincorporating inside of the meal. But it had juices, and they eat bugs and plants, so it just makes for something that's a whole lot heartier. That's really pretty good. So, and don't forget to keep boiling this inside with all of the bones. The bone marrow, that's always important. And we found that the hair from the tail, it basically just dissolves in all of this. And that's the little crunchy bits that you feel actually, because for some reason, they clump up with other parts, and they make this really interesting crunchy bit that so many people like. You see Bertrand just go, oh. And don't worry, we always wash the tails, because the tail goes right, but they're always well washed.
If you hadn't said that, I would have been grossed out.
They're always well washed. But hey, that's the base of the recipe. I'll come back with exact measurements, because it's a lot of people don't like these stuff. So it's not just 2 eyes that you put inside; it's the 16 eyes that you put inside. It really helps. You look at everyone just looking at one another. And then suddenly you see a whole lot of people slowly turning their head toward Fisher.
I'm just chilling by the window, keeping an eye out on the street outside for hunter cult people.
I'm a bad person.
Looking out for everybody while they're relaxing after a long travel.
And you can't help it, but as you're watching outside, you feel this growing shadows. That it's, something's bad that's about to happen, huh? I can feel it. Make a perception roll just for fun.
Because don't play it to your passive.
15.
15. And on what skill is Terranad?
Terranad's on Arcana.
Arcana, alright. So as you're watching outside and you get this feeling of growing bad stuff coming your way, looking at the shadows, and there's a little stars. You hear Terranad in the background just reciting things about Arcana, just a bit more mumbling than anything else. And suddenly, the world becomes darker around you. There's a shadow growing around you. And then you slowly turn your head to see Demis, Bertrand, and Longshot. Well, Longshot doesn't cast much of a shadow as he's basically half your height. But the other two actually do cast a shadow on you as you're sitting, and
Hey, guys. What's up?
you see Demis. She's a human, most likely thief. You don't know what sort of rogue she is. But... So, you like giving stuff to people?
I mean, not really. I mean, I'm not really like charitable. I mean, you know, if somebody like needs it, I'll lend it to him. But usually, when I'm giving stuff to people, it's because I lost it to him in a bet.
You hear Longshot go, so when's the last time you lost a bet?
It's actually been a while. Maybe like a week or so. It's probably the audience about something stupid. Why?
It's like trying to hit audience. I can't roll shit when it comes to him.
Those were all insight rolls, weren't they?
Yeah. They were all insight roll, and the highest
He's
roll
just
I
such a
have,
good-looking guy.
the highest roll I have is a 6. So they just all turn to audience for one slight moment, and then they all turn back to you. So, this was done by the kindness of your heart, because you felt like it was needed. Is that what you're saying?
I have been told I should start trying to be nicer to people. So if this is in reference to that, I guess you're welcome, but I don't think I did anything. I've just kind of been watching out the window, you know, to make sure we didn't get attacked while y'all were, I don't know, getting ready to go to bed.
When you say this, at the same time you're saying I was just trying to watch your back, you hear while, and you hear Bertrand finish your phrase saying, while we projectile vomit. Is that it?
That is... That's when it comes out the mouth, right?
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, I'm not super familiar with
It seems like such an ass right now.
which one. Also, why would I want to do that? That sounds gross and uncomfortable.
Well, a lot of people would normally agree with you, but unfortunately my dices have rolled a 3, a 4, and 2 1s. So apparently you're not very convincing right now. So you hear
But
long...
I don't get a persuasion roll?
Well,
I mean, are you trying to persuade
Yeah.
them anything?
are you actually trying to persuade them?
Essentially, you
That's
have
fair.
To,
I'm just confused. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I just think the main issue is that just because of like pretty much whenever you roll, like whether it's a persuasion or deception, the insight's a problem.
So suddenly you feel something tugging on your legs, and when you look down, you realize that there's a long piece of silk that's been wrapped around your legs several times. And then just as you watch and you realize this, you hear Longshot go, "Get him!" And he pulls up on the piece of string that he has. He's basically trying to push you prone, pulling on this. Yes, you can try and prevent this, athletic or acrobatic. You didn't see it coming?
Yeah, no, that's the natural one.
Natural one. You absolutely didn't see it coming. He
Makes sense. He's very confused. He just
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening?
he pulls on the silk ribbon, and then suddenly you find yourself falling to the floor. You barely have time to react when you have, well, basically everyone else jumping in, and you just hear, get his hand, make sure his head is not covered by anything. And then they're slowly all wrapping you up in different kinds of ropes. You can make another attempt to prevent your hands from being wrapped up, but you're doing this against 3 people. You have 1 roll, and they have advantage on theirs.
Cool. Athletics?
Or acrobatic.
So that is 25.
25.
I rolled an 18.
Are you serious?
He got so excited.
Plus 7 is 25.
No, definitely. Well, you managed to prevent them from wrapping your arms, barely, because they also rolled 18s, but none of them actually has a proficiency in athletics, so your roll is higher than theirs. But you see them just struggling, trying to... Oh, no, actually... No, it's always athletic. All right. You dodge one there because Demis is a thief, so she would have higher acrobatics, but it's always athletics for this. So you are resisting. You see them try to grab your hand. You see one managing to just wrap one hand, but he doesn't manage to get the other one. Another one is trying to pull you down, trying to make sure you don't move. Are you doing anything?
Yes. I would like to throw them off of me.
All right, well, it's a athletics check, and they will try to resist. So right now you have
Nat 20.
well,
I can't beat that.
no,
That's quite the swing there.
no, but actually I was gonna say, so who are you trying to push away? There's 4 people on you. There's Longshot, who is tying your feet. You have Berthrin and Demis, who are on your hands and trying to get them together. So who exactly are you pushing off with this natural 20?
I think I would be standing up's more important. I'd kick Longshot off of my legs.
Okay. Well, with a natural 20, he doesn't get... he gets a natural 1. So it's really the opposite.
Longshot gets sent across it.
Yeah.
He is small.
You basically manage to pull both feet at the same time and literally kick him in the head while he's trying to do this. So you see him just being pushed away. and he doesn't manage to completely secure your feet. However, you do have
Can I action surge and try and shove another one of them off of me?
absolutely.
Not using it for combat, or I guess this is kind of combat.
Let's keep going. That's a 24. We'll go for Bertrand, the other Eldritch Knight.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, unfortunately, no. Actually, it's skill check, so you'd beat him because skill check natural 20s does not guarantee a success.
Haha.
He rolled a natural 20, but his total is still lower than yours by 1 point. So you do manage to pull away from his hands, but you did have to put everything you had into pushing him off. But you do manage to push him off, and he just makes a few steps back. There's still Demis trying to tie your hands up. You get the opportunity to resist her if you want, but not push her off.
Yeah. That another athletics check?
Yeah.
Oh. Slowly going down, but not bad. That's a 22.
That beats hers. So you manage to prevent her from grabbing hold of your two hands. She only has this one hand that she's barely holding it on. Not enough to be considered being grappled.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I would kind of... am I on the ground or am I standing up?
Right now, you are on the ground because that was Longshot's first action. Pulling on this, shoving you essentially to the ground.
Aye. Yeah, then I would like to stand up and back up to the wall and go, the fuck?
You just hear Longshot scream, "Get him! Make sure he gets a healthy serving of it!"
I'm gonna use my bonus action to summon my greatsword.
Can Jordan butt in and try to help?
If you want. You know that there's a fight that seems to be starting at the other end of the inn.
Raimi looks up at audience's face.
Audience looks highly amused.
So he basically looks a lot like this.
I am holding my greatsword out in a defensive posture. What is this about?
Jeez. Someone really wants this to go poorly because I can't roll shit. It's like trying to hit audience. It's so frustrating. You hear
That's a good point.
you hear Longshot just say, "As if you didn't know," and then they all just charge you again. None of them have weapons. You get the feeling they're trying to grapple you and tie you up, but you don't know why.
Can I just shout stop and try and make like an intimidation check or something?
That could be your action, sure.
Can I do it with advantage because I am pointing a greatsword at them and they are unarmed?
Because you're pointing a weapon against adventurers who are all used to seeing large monsters looking at them.
Okay. Okay.
Also, one of them is
No
also
matter
an
what
elf
you're doing,
knight. They can
unless
also
you're a
summon
monk,
weapons.
you don't just run and try and tackle a dude with the sword pointed at you.
No,
Like,
no.
you're gonna get cut.
I'm not saying that it has no effect. I'm just saying it's not enough to give you advantage on intimidation.
That is a 10.
For a grand total of 10?
Yeah, that's an 11 for a
All
grand
right.
total of 10.
Well, apparently, your action do cause pause for Longshot, who sort of freezes just for a moment looking at you, not sure about what's happening, why you just drew a sword. But Demis and Bertrand rolled a lot higher than this for their reaction to this. So they're not stopping, but you do notice that Longshot sort of seems to wonder, hey, why is this degenerating so much? You know, when you do something wrong, you should expect punishment. So you either have a very inflated ego or something's wrong here. But apparently the two others do not share this. You were muted, audience.
I was gonna say, or maybe he's just a contract that doesn't have taste buds, so he wouldn't recognize it as being wrong.
They liked it. They just didn't like it once they knew what it was. So taste buds would have nothing to do with it.
So they try to grapple you again. Well, yeah, sure. If you want to resist that. God damn it.
Natural 20.
So, yeah, you easily...
Using, like, this is the best I've ever rolled, and it's on a dumbass bar fight.
Not even a complete bar fight. You're just shoving your friends away.
Yeah.
Well, Bertrand rolled a 1 on its attempt to grapple you, so you easily push him off. It's not even... and to resist Demis?
Do separate ones. Alright, I've got it. So nobody's gonna believe. That would be another natural 20.
It is higher than hers. You easily shove her to the side.
Video.
I've wasted all of Dre's good rolls for the next 6 months.
Okay, you see that?
Yeah,
Maybe.
A little
No.
to the left. All right.
I can kind of see it. Oh,
No, it rolled.
No, no.
Shit.
Oh, okay.
I believe you. I don't know
Wouldn't
why
focus.
you lie about this.
No, and I'm not gonna challenge this because this isn't that important of a thing. All right, so Jorg, as you see this happening, you did say you wanted to try and intervene to this.
Yeah, I just wanted to try and yell at them. Hey, this is getting out of hand. Calm down. And then I did also want to see. I was in the room, but I don't think I saw audience scheming.
Well, you weren't paying attention to it, so it would have been your passive perception.
Were you one of the ones that got?
I was.
Oh, but audience didn't order it for you. You ordered it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you have a high passive perception. You would have noticed audience acting different, but not exactly why he was acting different. Yeah, he was moving a lot, more than usual, going to the counter, going to talk to Remy, going back to the counter, pointing toward people. It's a bit unusual for him to do all of these things within a lapse of 20 minutes, but that's as far as you get.
But if I rolled a pretty high wisdom check, so maybe I put the pieces together.
Well, that would be putting pieces.
Or would that be?
That's investigation.
Yeah.
That's investigation,
It's intelligence.
not wisdom.
Investigation
Like,
is
oh,
to
yeah,
help you figure out puzzles. So
Something seems off. Guys, I'm pretty sure you got the wrong guy. I don't think Fisher would order you guys this knowing or as a practical joke. And it was pretty good. It's what's the matter what it is made of.
Oh, jeez. Did you actually say this?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
You get long shot.
Now I'm gonna get caught.
You get long shot and Berton both stop for a moment and then look at you. So you're the one who ordered it. Get him!
No.
Audience is just in the corner, just dance, my puppets, dance.
Oh no.
And just so everyone's aware, Raimi is watching the whole thing, and he has perfect memory.
So, Fisher, you do have Demis who just moves toward you, and you know that push off that some people do when they want to say stay out of this. They just push you by putting their hand literally on your sternum here and just pushing you a bit closer to the wall, and she just says, let it happen. She's not doing anything else than just pushing you near the wall like this. And you see Longshot and Bertrand. Longshot takes out one of his rope dart and uses it as a whip and just gives a good whipping tackle, which means this is something that I have been considering when someone wants to use a whip to grapple someone using dexterity. So he uses his weapon to try and grapple you. You can do
Indiana Jones in it.
sorta, yeah. I've seen it. It's a bit hard, but it works. And those who are proficient with a whip can actually do it incredibly impressively well. So, Jorg, are you trying to resist this whip grapple that Longshot has just initiated toward you?
Yeah, I'll try to resist that.
You can use athletic or acrobatic.
Athletic.
That's the same for you.
It's gonna be the same. Hey, that's a pretty good. That's a 15 on acrobatics.
Okay.
No athletics. Same thing.
Well,
Also,
on the die, Longshot.
17 total.
Yeah, but on the die, Longshot has rolled a 17. And that's without his dexterity and the fact that he's proficient with this weapon. So
Oh no.
you try and move away. Which one did you use? Athletic or acrobatic?
Athletics.
Athletics. So you see him whip his silk around your one of your arm, and as he pulls, you try to pull away, but you see that he knows how the mechanic of the body works, and pulls you in a way that your arm just go, ah, jeez. An arm is not supposed to bend that way. This is why it really got you. Ah! So you can make another roll because Demis is also trying to completely immobilize you now.
Uh-oh.
You are grappled. So,
Another 17 athletics for the other one.
all right. So you try and shove her off, but unfortunately she rolled also the die itself a 17. You should see my table. I have 17, 17, 16. 16 was for figuring out something by long shot.
Oh god.
So you try to shove her away, and she managed to twist your arm, and no! You find yourself not just
Wait.
grappled.
Is that the one that was holding me back?
No, sorry, Bertrand. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, if she left, I would have stopped her from leaving. Is Catherine still in the room?
Catherine is currently not in the room. You remember seeing her
shout
move
to,
up. You remember seeing her go to the second floor maybe 10 minutes ago.
Audience, get these idiots to stop it. They're obviously confused about something.
All right, audience will stand up and be like, no, guys, no need to go too far here. Let's not hurt anybody.
You hear Longshot say, "Oh, we're not gonna hurt anyone. Unless he feels like vomiting is very hurtful."
The fuck are you guys trying to do?
He's like, first
What?
off,
You
he
guys
is a
are-
construct. I don't think he's gonna vomit.
Oh, I have an idea.
Like,
If I turn into a horse,
part
I
of me
can't
thinks
vomit.
you guys are under the effect of a spell. What do you think even happened?
You hear
What
Longshot
are you
as
mad
he's
about?
You hear Longshot as he's pulling on, because they're slowly managing to drag you toward the door where there's the back area of this
I'm gonna
inn.
push
And-
what's her name out of the way and go stop them.
All right, she tries to stop you from leaving.
18.
She rolled a total of 21. So you try to just shove the hand
Athletics?
away, and you have this moment of just hand misplacing one another and just dock. And she managed to push you back the wall. You hear Longshot go, "He wanted to make sure we all ate this, so he's gonna eat it until he
I'm gonna
feels like
shoot
us."
long shot with a firebolt.
Actually,
Yes.
Can
Fisher's like
audience- can
60-40. These guys are charmed.
audience, if you do, audience will step in front of the firebolt and take it.
Alright, that is a... what's my plus 6? 18.
All right, I will take a firebolt then, because I will step in front and take the firebolt.
As you raise your hand, audience recognize you casting recognize the onset of this spell and steps in front of it and just take the full brunt of it. How much damage did
Audience. Oh. Oh shit, that's... Where is my... 16 fire damage.
Jeez, you were gonna shoot 16 fire damage?
I
at
rolled
someone?
really high.
Thank God I took that.
Average is 10 or 11.
You manly take this. And you
Audience, whose side are you on?
I'll be like, Fisher, enough. God, don't shoot.
What? I'm not
Don't
the one.
They're
what the
just
fuck are
trying
they
to
doing?
get. They're just trying to get back at you for a joke they think you committed. There's no reason to like attack.
I didn't do anything.
Alright.
I didn't do anything. George isn't the kind of person that would do anything. Whoever did do something needs to own the fuck up.
You hear Longshot say, "That's not what you said a few moments ago."
I'll turn back to. I'm kind of standing between Longshot, and Fisher. At this point, I'll be like, I'll kind of put out both my hands. I'll be like, all right, guys, enough. I can tell you're upset, but this is over some food that most of you anyway enjoyed. Like, obviously, Fisher, isn't going to. Fisher obviously doesn't think he's done anything wrong. There's no reason for this to go any further.
Do anything wrong? I didn't do anything.
Fisher, enough.
Well, technically, nothing you said is a lie, so you can roll persuasion for this.
18.
Oh, damn. I keep getting really low.
Nice investigation then.
I'm totally just, I don't know.
God
Who did it?
damn.
I roll.
I
an
thought we all
18.
just ordered it on
All right,
purpose.
everyone, just enough. Let Jorg and Fisher go.
So I'm willing to bet that if Sam steps away and puts his camera toward the ground, we're gonna see that he's sitting on a circle of some sort, cursing me for whenever I roll against him. It's low roll. I rolled a 6, a 5, and an 8. They believe you.
Perfect. I now get to look like the hero of the situation, even better.
You see them all stop struggling for a moment, and Jorg, you do feel like the hold of Longshot and Bertrand just loosens up a bit, and
And hear me out. This like audience, like there's just like a slight glow around you as Remy off in the corner is giving you an assist.
fairy fire. So they all look at one another, and then they look at you, Fisher. Well, are you gonna apologize? You're the one who drew a weapon and shot at us.
I'm not going to apologize. I was defending myself.
Audience.
I was defending myself and my
I was gonna look
team.
at Fisher and just be like, Fisher, something you gotta learn quick. Sometimes it's better just to apologize. Just let it so we can
I'm
move
not
on.
apologizing. What is it you think I did?
All right, I'm gonna be like, Fisher can be difficult in these kinds of situations. I'll give a slight bow to the others. I'll be like, I
Ask the
apologize.
barkeep if you're
I
wanting to know who
apologize
ordered
for
stuff for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't realize you guys didn't order it. But now I see why you're reacting this way.
Hey,
Just ask the barkeep.
minor illusion in Fisher's voice, like from about whatever distance away Raimi is, which isn't that far. It's like they hear in Fisher's voice, "I'm sorry."
You can roll a persuasion if you want. Well, actually, it would
Wait,
be
does that-
deception, because...
Yeah, that is
Say
deception.
from where? From where you are, or from where
No,
I
he
am?
can throw his voice.
I'm using minor illusion to mimic a time where you actually have said "I'm sorry." That's 20. What the fuck?
Jeez. It is.
So,
Damn curse stuff.
Fisher, you have this weird moment of, I'm not apologizing, and then you hear your voice go, I'm sorry. And then suddenly...
Now, are you gonna retract?
Uh,
And then you get Longshot and Demis both looking at you at the same time. Oh, you better be sorry. Don't do it again.
what?
I was gonna give a pleading look to Fisher and show him, be like, just let it, Fisher, just let it go.
Knowing what I know about Raimi's abilities and knowing that I didn't say that,
Well, it's not that hard.
would I be able to tell that Raimi did it? Because, like, it doesn't matter how good of a fake it is from Raimi. I know I didn't say those words.
I know. No, I know. And you have a pretty high passive investigation. I think you have the highest passive investigation of the group.
Uh,
Knowing what I know about Raimi's abilities and knowing that I didn't say those words. I know. No, I know. And you have a pretty high passive investigation. I think you have the highest passive investigation of the group. No, actually, you have the same
Actually,
passive
correct.
investigation as Remy. So I'd say, yeah, without you know that, and especially knowing Remy, knowing how good he is at imitating stuff, and you do have the same element of, oh, that's my voice, huh? Is that how I sound? Um, but you have this, that wasn't me. And I know there's one person in the group who can actually do this. So you suspect that it's most likely Remy who said that. But Longshot and Demis seems to have bought it completely and are just glaring at you while slowly walking away. Bertrand seems to be a bit more on the defensive about this, and he's just looking at you very intently. And I thought that people with the blade at least had honor between them. He slowly walks away.
Audience makes a mental note not to get Fisher involved in practical jokes anymore. He doesn't take it well.
He doesn't know it's a practical joke. Is the problem?
But like I said,
The only person who got damaged was audience, so audience is like, whatever.
in a cosmic way, karma was satisfied.
I will, let it go for them, and walk over and sit down next to Remy. Or Remy, are you at the bar or the table?
He would have been at the table.
Did
with,
you just cure me for
audience
10?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I will sit down directly across and stare him in the face. Go. What did you do?
I
Technically,
saw
Rabbit
some
can
rabbit
say-
squirrels and had to put them out of their misery.
What?
And he repeats, I saw some rabbit squirrels and had to put them out of their misery.
Fisher, from inside of you, you hear Taranad go, I think that's my favorite.
Am I the rabbit squirrel here?
Are you
Just
plural?
Just minor allusions. A faraway shot of you and the three other adventurers like in an entanglement, and points at them.
I didn't ask. Sorry, when I said, was that you, I wasn't asking about the I'm sorry, which I'm pretty sure I'm right about. So, yeah, I was talking about the, whatever it was that started this in the first place.
So Remy just kind of like cocks his head.
Hi. Do you know who it was?
Remy, with your passive perception and the fact that you're always paying attention to audience, I'd say you'd be 95% sure about who.
I mean, I literally
He was the one that
told him.
delivered the message.
Yeah.
He's in on it.
Really
He
was
knows
in
exactly
on
who
it.
it was.
And the fact that you know half of the plan.
Remy just blinks at you, continues staring.
Hmm. Hi. I am going to head outside, and I will, as I pass by audience, like poke him in the chest where he took the firebolt.
Which is
And
partially
go.
healed because Jord just...
Well, I healed it all the way.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fully healed.
And go. You could have jumped in sooner. And then I'm gonna walk out.
Audience is gonna respond with, "You could not shoot a firebolt at people who are just trying to be, friendly, get back."
Get back for what? They never told me what happened.
Still,
All-
no. I mean,
Audience, from my perspective,
there's a difference between
group
they were never
walked up
gonna
to me.
physically. Okay, they were never gonna physically hurt you though.
You hear Taranad go, well, he has
they
a
were
point.
tackling me, but does that not?
They would never do anything to actually physically harm you. Your firebolt could have physically harmed one of them.
You hear Taranad go, he has a point. They never drew weapons on you, you did.
I was trying to prove how serious I was about the situation. Is that not? I mean, somebody pulls a weapon, everybody stops. That's what happens.
No, it's never, because in their minds, they never thought you would hurt one of them.
But then why else would I pull out a sword?
They probably thought you were just doing it to, as a show of strength or to try and get them to, stop, but not that you would ever actually use it.
So, sparring.
Yes. They would never...
But when you're sparring with somebody, you both agree to spar with each other. You don't just walk up and tackle somebody.
Well, they thought they were getting back at you for something, but they would never physically hurt you. They at most would have just tackled you and wrestled you and maybe made you eat some food, which wouldn't have even mattered for you.
Okay. I don't like being forced to do things, especially if I didn't do anything to deserve it.
I know, Fisher, but you have to understand that people don't think this way. They think of things. I know you don't understand. I mean, you somewhat understand the concept of jokes, right? Or jokingly, fighting or jokingly pushing, or even when someone's upset, if they're friends, they're not going to hurt you. Do you understand that concept at all?
Like play fighting?
Somewhat, yes.
You hear Taranad add to this by saying, have you never seen someone get even for a joke before? For a bad one?
Yeah.
Well, that felt
Usually-
like that. But you decided to go hostile on it.
Raimi, minor illusions. What appears to be a very gruff, bearded man in a bright pink dress.
What's that supposed to be? I'm confused.
Do I have to wear this, boys?
Didn't you live with sailors, Fisher?
Yeah,
Did you never see...
I
One
live
sail-
with pirates.
Yes. But even with pirates, did you never see perhaps... Were none of the pirates ever buddies or friends? Had
Um,
comradeship?
Not really.
Hmm.
I mean,
Make an investigation roll.
me?
Yeah, Fisher, make an investigation roll.
18.
18. When audience says this, you have a moment where you have a flashback of a lot of those time when your awareness was just starting to awaken. For you, that moment, these moments where it was more pleasant with your
On the fishing boat or on the
fishing
pirate
boat.
ship? Okay.
From that time period, you mostly have what looks like a scrapbook. Very little actual, but what audience says sort of make a few of those picture clicks for you of watching them laugh at one another. One with a bucket of chum on his head, looking slightly miserable, but everyone laughing at him. And there's sort of these pictures which sort of, oh, that's what it was.
And Raimi continues holding on to the bearded man in a pink dress.
A vague recollection. The majority of my memory of sailors, their fighting was actual fighting.
Fair.
And getting
But-
back at Stumbundy was done with the dagger.
I say most people don't act that way. There's never any actually intent or...
Aware of that. Or, yeah.
It's alright, I'll say, Patty, and nothing bad happened. Luckily, I stepped in and took the firebolt, so... I don't think there'll be any
You coulda-
lasting hard feelings.
You could have stepped in and helped Jorg out.
I think Jorg, I say looking at him, more understood than you that it was, although confused, more understood that they weren't actually going to hurt him.
Okay, but he obviously isn't the one who did it, right, Jorg?
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jorg
But,
isn't the kind
yes,
of person that...
I knew they weren't going to actually hurt you.
I think Jorg is more... Unfortunately, Jorg put suspicion on himself, which was unfortunate. But I'll look at him. Maybe Jorg don't when you're trying to explain something or Kama sits you down, mention that the thing they're upset about was yummy in the future.
All right, I guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna walk behind the bar into the kitchen and go find the barman.
Yeah, I just can't figure out who did it.
Okay.
So we,
He's not hard to find. The evening is still fairly young, so he's just there and just answering to some people.
Fisher's gonna be upset with me. That's okay.
So get to
Raimi
the,
at this point... Hold on,
Uh,
I should probably roll this. Oh yeah, no, he gone. Raimi has stealthed his way up to the second floor.
okay.
Yeah, I'll find the innkeeper.
So you get to the innkeeper just as you, what do you mean the cheese is runny? No, it's because you. Hold on. Yes.
Who ordered all the goat specials?
It was. There's two of them. It was one of the dragons. They all look alike. Yeah, it was one of the two. One of them. I'm not sure which one. Anything else? Something to drink?
What color?
Well, one audience has a very brassy color. while the other one has a rust color. He's more of the classic Dragonborn.
Oh,
Did he
no.
have a shirt on?
Aren't did he? Aren't everyone supposed to have a shirt on?
I mean, yeah. But there were the two Dragonborn. One doesn't have a shirt on, has the silvery metal thing covering part of his body, and the other one has a shirt on like a normal person.
Like a normal person.
You see him, he's struggling a little bit. Silver.
I was paying too much attention to their pants. I wasn't looking up.
Paying too much attention, probably more to the coin I was passing over.
Okay.
I'm really not sure. I mean, there's so few people that actually order it. I was more thrilled by the fact that some adventurers were brave enough to try this thing, which they didn't know anything about. I'm really not sure. He rolled an 11 in total. So, I was gonna say the tall one, but
That's
now that
not
I look
bad.
at them, they both seem about the same height, and they're both almost not wearing anything. You know, one has that sleeve, the other one is just seems to have monk robes.
Yes, a shirt, clothing above the waist.
But
Never
honestly, just look at both of them, and if you're not paying attention, you know,
They look like very different individuals.
really,
Is this man racist against Dragon?
I was about to say,
Yes.
I Fish is finding out that this man is very racist.
or hasn't met a lot of Dragonborn. You know, Fisher has a good idea of the difference with Dragonborns because he lived most of the life he remembers in a Dragonborn city.
I think it's more this guy just didn't look at me. He just kind of was going about his thing.
Okay, never mind. And I will leave and walk up over to the other Dragonborn, which was...
Audience, you see Fisher just go from one place to the other, and he looks on a mission.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop him. He either's gonna believe the other Dragonborn or he's not. That's how high his
Is it,
insight was.
Darkaheen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Was he here the whole time?
You think?
Okay.
You weren't paying attention, so you're not sure, but you think.
I'll walk over and sit down.
Hey, I got a visitor.
Thanks,
What can I do
Yeah.
for you?
How's your night going?
I always think about retiring. It's a bit noisy. I prefer quieter surrounding. All of it with that commotion a few moments ago. Whew.
Not really your kind of thing.
Nah.
So you didn't start it? You
Start
didn't
what?
order them the food?
I didn't even order something for me. I've been eating this. And he shows you something that you don't know what it is, but he takes a bite of it and yeah, it's edible.
Thanks. Have a nice night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so soon. All right. Well, have a nice night too.
And then I will
If you want to take a moment to think about what you will do, we can go on the break and you can decide.
yeah. I will just go back to walk back outside and just kind of stop for a second, stare at audience, and then walk out.
You know, it's hard to tell with Fisher because of his face, but you think he just glared at you.
Audience doesn't really care.
All right.
It was funny, and he thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's more what's important.
And honestly, it went on, and the other adventurers don't think it's him, and that's what's more important.
All right. So,
With a 15 insight check, do I get that he doesn't care?
audience, are you trying to hide anything in your expression? Just keep a poker face through all
I
of this.
wouldn't have done anything while he looked at me. While he walked back, I wouldn't have made any expressions or anything. I would just looked at him.
Okay.
Normally.
So poker face. I'd say make deception roll just to see if you can poker face him.
No, it's a 10. I mean, his insight beats me.
So you look at him.
There'd probably be a small smirk.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You see him just look at you and for a moment just stay completely stone face, and then you get this. You see this little moment of.
I'll just go. In the future, not that kind of joke. And if I respond in the way I did, jump in sooner. Otherwise, it's going to escalate like it did. And then I'll walk outside.
Audience will kind of mutter to himself, like, well, most people, you normally don't try to kill the people attacking them.
Fisher isn't like most people.
Alright, so Fisher, you walk out. You feel the cool mountain air just. Well, you don't actually take a breath, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
You still feel the breeze.
Yeah. And then I will just kind of post up outside the front door.
And go into your sentry rest there.
Yeah.
So, for one night,
Keep watch.
this innkeeper gets a Warforged bouncer.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else you'd like to do for the evening? Jorg?
No, audience had a successful evening.
Audience loved his evening. All right. Jorg and Remy? Okay.
After Raimi snuck up to his room, only for like an hour, Raimi just kind of like sets his new rock on the ground, and the reason why he picked a tough rock is like for this purpose. He is now basically like while vibrating the dagger, he's trying to see if he can get the rock to vibrate, and hopefully, with enough practice, break the rock.
Okay, well.
Jorg wants to pick up an extra small bowl of that goat stuff for his dog, for Frel. Even if Frel doesn't need to eat, he thinks he'll like it.
Sure.
I mean, apparently it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like chicken nuggets or sausages. Tastes good. You just don't want to know how it's made.
All of this at once. So, yeah, sure. You can easily go get another pie and give it to your dog. Just, like I said, if it's, remove your usual in your for eating as money. And yeah, sure, you get a good pie, a good meat pie, or rather, everything else pie. And yeah, it remains a dog. You show it to him, he smells it for a moment, gives a lick, push it with his nose, and then start eating it. I mean, animals eat does all the time, so...
Yeah.
Alright, so, with this very interesting image of a dog eating a pie, we now know is made of everything else in a goat, we're gonna go to our break and be back in as close as possible to exactly 10 minutes. So, see you all back in 10 minutes, and while you're waiting, why not follow if you're not already following, or just say hi in the chat. I just learned that it helps the statistic when you do that, so just say hi. See you back in 10 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Aha! Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, players, I forgot to make the countdown. I was just so eager to get back in. So, as you can see, everyone is still alive. For now. So, let's get back in. As Remy is trying to blow up a stone using thunderous vibes, Audience is proud of himself, having manipulated half a room into trying to beat the other half. Well, there's a bit of exaggeration in that, but still, it's. And George just feeding his dog the whatever that wasn't eaten from the goat, and Fisher becoming a one-night bouncer. So. Eventually, Audience, I would imagine that you wait until there's less people and you just move back up to your room. Unless there's something else you'd like to do. Try and talk to someone.
No, I just back up.
Okay. Then it takes maybe an hour and a half, and slowly you start seeing all of the villagers going back to their home. And the evening quiets down. You hear a few comments from the other villagers in there, just going, "Geez, that machine really went amok. I wonder who's its owner. You really let that get out of hand." You hear a few comments like this, but if you don't say anything, you just listen to them and they leave. The end. And probably toward, I'd say, 11, you have the innkeepers. Well, that was an interesting night. And then there's actually one person who actually took the recipe. I think it's one of your friends. You know, he took another one and said it was for someone. I don't know who exactly, but hey, he actually took the recipe. So hey, maybe you're gonna have the chance to eat some festive goat in your future. Who knows? All right, well, anything else you'd like before I close up?
No, I'm fine.
All right. Well, have a good night. I'm gonna get rest. There was this moment... I'm pretty sure you were here while that was happening, but hey, I thought we were gonna have a bar fight. haven't had one of those since I was young.
If that's not a bar fight, I don't know what is.
All right, well,
Skirmish.
if you feel like it, there's a little bit of leftover cheese in there. It's just, right before you go up, there's a little shelf there. Yeah. Bit of cheese there if you want it. If not, don't worry. There's a lot of mice around here. Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
And he lets you go up to your room, go to bed, satisfied, physically, mentally, emotionally. You go to bed, and during the night, you're not sure why exactly, but you get the feeling that someone laughed at your joke. You don't know who exactly, but there's this moment where you hear that childlike laugh for some reason that but it doesn't feel weird. Usually if you hear that in your room and when you're alone, it feels a bit weird, but that time it didn't feel weird. Someone liked it. You're not sure who, but someone liked it. Someone as in not a mortal someone liked it. But the night goes well. There's no problem. Fisher, you see everyone leave slowly. You do hear a few comments when they're looking at you, and maybe it's gonna go berserk on us also. Yeah, just...
When they say that, I just do the quick, like, head juke towards them.
You get... Jeez. They're all the same. And they move away.
Is it racist if you're a construct? Like, what's the ist here?
Machinist.
There you go.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, I would argue that being racist is a question of intention and not just words.
That's not accurate.
That
very
is I'm gonna have to step in here and say that you can be racist in the most delightful of ways.
Oh no! As long as you intend on saying something like that, yeah, of course.
Racism has nothing to do with intention.
No, it's just about how it looks. You know, mud is mud. And by that I didn't mean anything about any race. I just meant if it's dirty, it's dirty.
How about we take this baseball and we just go
Throw it and jump to the morning. There's no getting out of this. I tried a few times in my life. You just keep shoveling deeper in this hole when you try to do this. Alright, so the night goes well, and you wake up in the morning. You have the fresh air of the morning. Fisher, you actually are in front of the door. When morning comes, you actually have a few morning dew drops forming on you as this cool morning. Yeah, oh goodness, humid, cool. Yeah, I just love this when it happens. It's a very humid day, and since it's beginning cool, there's a whole lot of dew out there. So, yeah, you have this moment, oh, the sun is rising, you hear the birds starting to chirp, and that's it. You never realize how much life there is in a plain or a forest. Not as much in a mountain. But Jorg, audience, and Remy, you all wake up refreshed, healed. You go down the stairs and you have the second part of the meal that you bought that is there. It's morning, so it's not going to be the festive goat, but it's a hearty morning meal.
Does audience do his morning run again? Like always.
Yeah, I'll probably go. I'd probably do my normal morning run.
Hi. After he leaves, I'd go inside and sit down and wait for Longshot and Bertrand and whatever her name is that starts with a D.
Demis.
Demis?
You're really not gonna let this one go, are you? You realize they're not gonna believe it's me after, like...
That's not exactly what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, it takes just a few moments, but I'd say within the next 15 minutes, you probably see the three of them arriving. You see Longshot just being, that's a hard bed. Going toward the counter and asking for his meal. You see Demis and Lucen. They're always together. It's really the brother and sister team that never breaks. So you see them both walking down the stairs and taking their meal. And then a few minutes after, you see Bertrand just... It's always very peaceful in the mountains.
Can I, wave them all over to my table?
Yeah, okay. You do get a little frown from Demis, who's looking at you, but the rest just looks at you for a moment and... Alright, well... Make their way to you. You hear Longshot on the way just nudge Bertram and think he's gonna apologize. A real good one. You see Bertrand just go.
After they all sit down, go. Well, first off, the I'm sorry you heard last night wasn't actually me. I believe it was my friend using a spell to diffuse the situation. Because I didn't then, I would like to apologize now for escalating things the way I did. I wasn't really aware of the concept of...
You hear Longshot finish your phrase saying politeness.
Well, I'm working on that one too. But I was confused as to what was happening, and I responded in a possibly more deadly way than was necessary. And I am sorry about that. And now that I am more aware of that, I hope I won't do it in the future. And I talked to the barkeep, and he said it was one of the Dragonborn. I'm going to assume it was another member of my party audience to get back at me for dumping something stinky on his pants a couple days ago. But, who knows? It might be the other guy. But he seems like a nice person that isn't into that kind of thing. So,
You hear Bertrand go, so those were his pants. You see Demis just frown at you. You see Longshot, he's about to stand up on whatever chair he is, and you see Lucen just put his hand on his shoulder and then put a hand on your shoulder, Fisher. And just push slightly, but you see that it's a bit harder for Longshot, and he just sits back down. Well, now that everyone has apologized, I'm sure that everyone feels better and will understand that sometime you need to explain things. And he looks at the rest of the group, and then he turns his head toward you, Fisher, and says, and other times it's better not to try and do something that can be seen as an act of combat toward friends.
Well, yeah. I
I'm
go
sorry that you
to make
interpreted my
a
actions as hostile.
logical rebuttal, but then stop myself.
All right, well, we've had an apology. Then he waits for a moment, and you hear Demis go, fine. I guess you need an apology too. If what you say is true.
I mean, we're
And
still here. You can go ask the bartender.
She gets up and leaves on that. With the if you're telling the truth. And she... Well, that's as good as an apology coming from my sister. And he looks at Bertrand and Longshot, and Longshot says, hey, I stopped attacking him when he drew a sword, and he then tried to hit me with a firebolt. I got nothing to apologize.
You did tie up and then start dragging my friend out the door.
He didn't fire a bolt at me. He understood. I'll apologize to him, not you.
Okay, go apologize to him.
Jesus Christ.
I don't need an apology.
Maybe
I was
will get
the
some.
one here to apologize.
You see Longshot getting up and jumping down and then leaving. And you just see Bertrand go, oh, this is so confusing traveling with adventurers. And he just gets up on that and leaves.
Here's a quick question. Does Bertrand also train with Kazan?
You haven't seen him train with him.
Okay.
But you also get the impression that you are slightly higher level than him.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Lucen, who looks at you and says, well, interesting evening. Let's try to not make a habit of it. I'm guessing you're going with your friend. The druid. I believe it's called a Kenku. And your dragonborn.
Yeah.
And your tree, who's been outside all night, walking about the village. I've heard a few comments about this. He's spooking the villagers who've never seen a walking tree before.
It's not surprising. It happens. A couple of those might actually be about me. People tend to get confused.
He looks at you for a moment. I can see it. All right. Well, try not to get killed by your friends. At least get killed by enemies if you have to die. It's easier to explain when you get any points up. Trust me, it's easier to explain.
Yeah, after that night, a couple days ago, I think I've killed enough friends.
I see. Yeah, it's easier to explain if you refrain from that. Alright, well, I'm gonna make sure my sister doesn't kill someone else. And he leaves off in the same direction she went. Anything else?
No, I'm going to go back to my spot at the door.
All right. So Jorg, you finish eating up. Remy, you finish eating up. And you all meet back up outside? Or back in the inn?
There, Remy is waiting patiently for audience's return.
Like a loyal puppy. He just looks at the door and...
Well, also he just appreciates. He also just appreciates the misty look he gets whenever he comes back from a run.
So what you're saying is that he's stuck in that position where when someone you have feelings for tell you we can still be friends, and you're not actually moving on. You're still hoping that this glimmer of hope. It's
it's more like.
If he's gonna be around, I mean, you might as well look at it.
Fisher. Under there put it more succinctly. It's just like, he recognizes now that nothing is ever going to happen between them. And maybe another way of putting it is he hates to see him go, but he loves to watch him leave.
If your friend is a super cool sports car, just the fact that you don't get to drive it doesn't mean you can't enjoy that it looks cool.
Oh goodness, there's so many ways that this is funny and wrong at the same time. Alright, so Alright, so you wait for a moment and then suddenly the door opens and you have audience glistening from the morning dew, and unfortunately no sweat because Dragonborn don't sweat. So but there is this flare of light coming from outside from the rising sun. Its audience complementing the color of his scales with a background of orange and yellow and a bit of red.
As the audience comes in the door, I try and trip him.
Well, technically this is a shove, so it's
I'd more
athletic.
say that'd be an acrobatics or athletics, one of the two.
I mean, I think it would be athletics on Andre's part, and then acrobatics on audience's part, because
You could do athletics. You ever done the scene thing where you see someone try and
I rolled a
trip you?
23. We have the same stat. I rolled a 16, Dre.
Yeah, I rolled an 18. I'm gonna suck tomorrow next week. I rolled like once below 10.
you guys only ever seem to roll this way when you're petty.
So that was 20. No,
It'd be the same as 25. It'd be a 25.
Yeah, 25.
I
So
rolled 23.
just as you enter, you make your first step in, and you feel this thing coming up against your legs. And because you're using strength, you just plant your feet a bit better than usual, and you just push through. And you're sort of like, you called that an attempt?
He rolled higher than... Oh.
Yeah, you said you
he
rolled
rolled higher.
25 and you rolled 21.
No.
I rolled
It was
23.
Andre that rolled the
Andre rolled
25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
then in that case, it's the exact opposite. You feel this brushing on your legs, but it's just a little too low for you to raise your feet. And as you think about, make a dexterity saving throw to see how bad you fall.
Okay. 6.
6.
No.
It's almost face first. You're just...
I mean, to be fair, I literally just came back from a run. Your legs are tired. Not like...
Grammy, seeing this, immediately gets up from his chair and runs to audience's side, brushing him off.
So, audience, you enter and you feel this pressure on your leg. You think you can push through, but it is just not placed at the right place to prevent you from, to help you, to push him away, and you fall to your knees. Not enough to cause damage, but it's still, you fall on your knees when you're not expecting it, on a wooden floor. So you catch yourself with your hands and.
I'll look up at the room and pretend to be at the roof and pretend to be praying.
I'll just kind of lean over. Go,
Make a deception
Is
for
that-
the room.
a better response.
10.
Some believed you. Most not so much. You hear one person go with the comment, "Wow, he's really into praying, huh?" Get this person just, come on, you. Oh.
Audience goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Fisher was bending down to help him up, but then stands back up and goes and waits by the door again.
That's all right. Remy finishes helping him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like helping off a bit, like maybe brushing some of the dirt and dust off a bit with his sleeve, just
Waiting a few extra seconds when brushing on his abs and pushing a little bit harder than he should. And keeps on removing the dirt.
They're just cold washboard abs. You're not actually supposed to use them like that.
Oh, I'm gonna save that visual for later.
All right, so you all get up. Well, one of you get up. No, actually, most of you get up in some way or another. Anything else you'd like to do? Because everyone else is gathering, and you get the feeling that the adventurers are getting prepared to split the party again.
I'm ready to go.
All right. So you follow everyone, and just as you're about to leave, especially your group, you hear Caitlin's voice coming from the stairs, coming from the second floor. And audience.
Yes. I'll turn. I'll look. Yes.
I've heard that your group doesn't have a. She makes one step away from Jorg and just lowers her voice. Proper healer.
Ooh, those are fighting words there.
Oh god. I'm gonna kind of look at Jorg, and I'll be like, he does his best.
Well, druids, they believe in fanning the flames of dying embers, but not going counterclockwise on the circle of life, if you know what I mean. So
that's an expression.
I'm going up to the right. There's a caravan leaving for a temple. There's another group. There's another healer in the group, Coven. He's gonna go with everyone else. I was wondering, would you like to go with me in the caravan?
That would work well.
All right. Well, I'm going to a small temple. It's not a big temple, but their deity has come in and come help ours a few times in the past. So they've sent me a message during the night saying that there was a problem up there. They are running low on food, so I'm guessing they're in the middle of all this. So I'd like to go help them, and I'm going to go with the caravan who has received the same message.
All right. Well, of course, I'd be happy to assist in helping. I always feel bad for those that get caught in the middle.
All right, then let's go outside. And I'm gonna give the last instruction, and we'll depart together.
Okay.
Love how we have Jorg and Oranak.
Sorry,
guys.
technically,
Yeah, and
audience.
I mean, audience wouldn't think of himself as a healer, though.
No, he doesn't.
Right?
No, not at all.
No, that's the odd thing about paladins. They can heal. They're the only one who have access to all of the smite spells, but they never use any of them. They mostly use their spell for divine smites.
If you're boring, don't know how to do cool stuff, then you use your spells.
Well, I mean,
Also,
in
if you have good
fairness-
spells.
In fairness, only
Both of
like
the crown doesn't have any cool
two,
spells.
only like 2 of those smites actually are at least worth the spell slot that you're using them at.
That's not true. I get cool spells. I think I got at least one cool spell at like level 12 or 15 or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's good.
I get
PSA,
what's it called?
PSA
I get
kids,
to summon cool things or something.
PSA kids, never prepare searing smite. Just never do it. Don't do it.
Unless
your
you're fighting
PSA.
trolls. Unless you're fighting trolls.
True.
They don't count.
What do you mean they don't count?
They definitely do count.
You encounter 5 trolls.
Trolls are the
They don't
worst if you
count.
don't
They
have
don't
fire
count.
Well, let me look at it this way. Unless you actually know you're going up against a troll, you're probably not preparing it every day. Anyway.
All right, so you all gather outside, and you see everyone. There's a little bit of restlessness in the group, and you hear Kitten just go, "All right, everyone. So like I said last night, there are 2 paths. Turns out that we have 2 very competent healers. Well, anyway, so one is gonna go
All back.
one is gonna go to the left, and the other one's gonna go to the right. Audiences' group has already agreed to come with me, and the caravan. You've all seen the caravan that's just at the end of the street over there. We're gonna go to the left, to the right. Well, I already have a good group. It's 5. Is the 3 going with us? She's
Yes.
looking at Orunak, just walking toward the group.
The tree and the snow leopard are coming with us.
Oh, well, apparently we have a very good group, so everyone else can just go into the second group. Alright, so last bit of advice. When you get into the mountains, especially when you're going to get in range of possible trouble, communication with the garden becomes not constant. There are some gaps, especially at night. The garden said that the gap at night, loss of communication at night, most likely result from whatever they're doing. So try and find a good place to rest when night comes, something safe. During the day, it's spotty. It's sometimes you manage to have a good reception, sometimes not. Just do your best. If there's a problem, try to ask for help. We got 2 flyers and another group on the other side. So maybe someone's going to be in range to come and help. If not, well, good luck and bless you all. That's about everything that we can say about everything. Thank you all for helping to solve this little mystery. And apparently a lot of people are eager to get a little bit of payback. So let's hope we can also do that. All right. Anyone else have any questions? He turns towards you guys. And, well, I'm going to be with you, so you have a lot of time to talk to me if you have any questions. But for everyone else, you just see a whole lot of people. Any monsters we should be scared of? I've seen a few elemental earth. I've seen a few bands of orc. Robbers. I think they call themselves mountain thieves. I don't know. I mean, I didn't take them very seriously.
The
Sounds
mountain
like a
thieves
bad
apart.
band name.
Hey, we're going up against people who call themselves the Hunter Cult, you know. Also, watch from above. There are a few flying creatures in here. No dragon, don't worry. But I've heard screeching, so just be mindful. I've never actually seen them. And there's a legend about a monster living in the deep inside the mountains and caves. Weird legend about a creature rumbling and feasting on souls, but it's supposed to be a lot further to the south. So, but just saying in case that it's actually true and it moves. So. All right, you see a few people getting a bit nervous about this last one. That's it. Let's get a move on. Do trees move on like everyone else? You hear over
They're a
now.
little slower.
You hear over now. Go. Yeah, sure. It's like we're just like everyone else.
Raimi points to because supposedly they're next to the caravan. Like when you said caravan, like is there like a wagon involved there, or
There are several carts. There's actually 4 carts filled with supplies, mostly food and medical supplies, bandages and stuff like this. It's 4 carts, each drawn by a what looks like a bull, and there are actually caravan members from this. There's maybe a little over half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 caravan people, mostly human and dwarf.
then Raimi will just minor illusion a question mark and gesture toward the wagons.
Well, yes. I've received a message during the night. There's a temple a few days of walk from here. They've asked for help from any priest that are friendly to their own deity. Apparently, their supplies haven't been reaching the center of the mountain. So they've asked for help. A caravan, but they've also apparently had security problems, which is why there's a lot of bandages and different ointments. And I'm bringing a few diamonds with me, you know, in case we need to. And she turns away from Jorg when she says that. And in case we need to go counterclockwise on the cycle of life, you know.
I think Remy was actually referring to if Oranak here slows us down, he could probably hitch a ride on one of the carts.
Oh,
but he should
probably.
I mean, he's just as fast as some of our shorter-legged friends.
Well, all of the short-legged friends are going on another path. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they won't mind. I mean, it's not often that you get to brag that you had a living tree in your cart. I'm sure one of them is gonna get a thrill from that. Although all trees are living, so...
Sentient.
Well, technically some are. Whew, this is all weird. Alright. We ready to go? You need to buy anything before we leave?
Just, maybe some burn ointment for Jorg.
Why? Has he been injured in some way? I heard there was a fight last night Fire bolts. At least I hope they were bolts and not balls. Were fired.
No, not important.
Okay. Well, sure. You can make a few purchases before we leave. I heard that the caravan's gonna leave in 25 minutes, so I'm gonna be with them. You see her just move toward the caravan. So, if you have anything else to do, you have 25 minutes, and then the caravan leaves.
I need to go because I have something. It's 10:40, but
Oh.
I assume we're almost done. So.
Yeah, I was gonna make one roll, and depending on the roll, I might move this directly to the end of the night. If not, end the stream there.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna. Are we doing any?
Any?
I need to. It's fine. Let me know if anything happens. I just need to go real quick.
Okay.
Okay, go.
All right. That's all right.
See ya.
Good night. All right. So, okay. Let's.
Is there someone here who could
Audience.
make or would have like a flip stopper vial or two, as opposed to something with just a cork? I know it's just a tiny little village.
Yeah. Well. Oh goodness. Make an investigation roll because you're basically just start running around town asking anyone if they have this that you can buy.
And now that it's not about some dumb bar fight shit, I'm gonna roll real bad. That went on the floor. Yep. It's a 4 on the die, so a 10 total.
So as you're running around town asking question, do you know where I can get a stopper for a bottle? You just come up a little too strong, and then you see a lot of people just go, and they move
Do
away.
the sorry we're closed. And close the door thing.
We only sell to people. You need to have your owner with you.
I have money. Does it matter?
You wouldn't understand.
I do it. Never mind.
As you're leaving, you hear this. Wow, they're really getting elaborate these days. Yeah, a whole lot
They're
more.
getting sentient these days.
I mean, I just imagine Raimi is just like maybe like just watching these scenes, just really confused.
Well, it's probably a lot of those people don't actually intend on being this discriminating of Fisher, because literally right now the proportion would probably be like 96% of construct are not sentient. It's really an oddity for a lot of people.
The town crier is a fox person.
Well, no, I'm just meaning more like
scaring old people out in the country.
my thing is mostly just like not the people's reactions, but just like Fisher just going all around town, just like
I mean,
it's
it's like
running around.
It's like 10 minutes. All around town's not very far.
No, it's
Well, yeah, and Raimi is an observer, so it's just like he watches you doing this for 10 minutes, just rushing from one spot to the next.
Do you have a stopper for a bottle? Do you have a stopper for a bottle? Do you have a stopper for a bottle? So after a good 10 minutes, unfortunately, Locke is not with you. I rolled a 2. So you eventually find someone who says, I could make you one. Can you come back tomorrow?
No, that wouldn't work.
Okay, well, sorry.
You're okay. Better reaction than I've gotten from most people here, so good on you.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Oh, yep. Then I'll leave.
All right.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
would Raimi know what it takes to make a stopper?
What do you have exactly for? You just have thieving tools.
I mean, it's not just a stopper, it's like a...
No, there's a few mechanical pieces.
Instead of just a cork, you know, something he can pop open and close with one hand.
I'd say you can. That would be just an intelligent roll. If you had Tinker's tool, I would let you roll with proficiency, but
No.
Intelligence.
I was looking for
But
that.
like, would
Smith's tool.
like I guess before I make the roll, like, wouldn't he at least have like some knowledge regarding stoppers, considering his history, regardless of whether he knows, regardless of whether he has like proficiency in the tool set required.
Well, actually, knowledge of them, yes, it's not something that only a few elite people know, but how to make one, the different component of it, and the specialized equipment that you need. Because there's quite a few delicate part that can be part of a stopper.
Oh, I'm just like, basically, I'm just leaning on expert forgery to see if at any point like he would have like been able to see and thus like imitate the production process of making such a stopper.
Could I have asked that guy who said he could make it if I could just buy materials off of him in order to make it, and or like a quick sketch of what he was thinking of?
The material, yes. The sketch, you can try and make you one. It's gonna take a little bit of time, though.
Could he just explain what he was thinking, and then I'll attempt to work on it from there?
And you'll have Remy's assistance. Sure, he can try and explain it to you. Okay, so that would be... Alright. Make an intelligence roll. I rolled for him to set the DC of understanding. If he explained it really well, it's going to be easy. If he didn't explain it well, it's going to be hard.
And you said intelligence roll, right?
Yeah, that's really understanding something mechanic. So,
12.
12. Okay. It's just enough to understand what he's saying. But you get, because it's so close to your own capability of understanding how this is working, it's like someone gave you a bowl full of noodles and said, untangle them. you know it's possible, and you know what you have to do to untangle them, but you know it's going to take a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
All right, so it's delicate metal pieces. So I'd say he's giving you for about 1 gold worth of material, delicate material, and he does tell you, be careful about it. If you twist them, if you break them, you're gonna have a whole lot of bad times trying to make everything works together.
Thanks for the heads up.
So you have the necessary material to make a stopper and a 1 point above functional understanding of how it's all supposed to be put together.
Did he give me tools needed at what I would need for it, or
no,
I have
that you would
smith's tools, but those
that you
are-
would have to buy them. Tools.
It'd just be like a set of tinker's tools.
Yeah.
I think tinkers are. I
They're
want to
kinda
say 50.
expensive. They are 50 gold pieces.
Yeah. £10, 50 gold pieces. Potter, smith. Yeah, no, smithing tool would be way too big. Alright, yeah. Alright. So, going back to Remy about this. First of all, I'd like you to make an intelligence roll just to see if you have come across this before. Have you seen this? Have you...
Let's see here. That's going to be with just a straight intelligence, 14.
Okay. So you think you'd be able to help Fisher with remembering how it is and your excellent memory on how things are. What he has is not exactly the same as what you saw. But combining your abilities, you think he could make up for your lack of imagination on how to adapt what you know. So basically, if you go together, I would allow for one of you to make a roll with proficiency when the time comes. Because that's the problem with Kenku. They lack imagination. So you have a few designs in
That's
mind.
that's why specifically I asked. It's like, okay, how familiar am I with this based on my character's history? Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's you didn't used to sell perfume, so you don't have intimate knowledge of this, but you have knowledge. You have seen some. Especially when you think about poisons, how people those who use them like to have easy access to poison and not always have to remake the seal or things like that. So with all of the different sources, you would have seen some of how it works, but not all of them. This is why Fisher's ability to improvise would fill in.
Again, that's the only reason why I asked personally, just because I recognize that limitation. But regardless.
Okay. So yeah, you would be able to the two of you work together to try and make something. Combining raw knowledge with the ability to improvise. Well, he doesn't have that good of a wisdom, but he has an ability to improvise. Not a good one, but he has one. So it's all right. So you gather up, go toward the. Anything else before leaving? All right. You gather up. You go toward the caravan. You're greeted.
I'll do it on the road, but I'll gotta feed Terry at some point.
Yeah, he sort of skipped the meal. Actually, 2 meals.
He's somehow in a ball again. Dried up.
So yeah.
He's adapting. I'm just making him strong.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I hate that. I don't like that.
That's awful.
That's such like a
It sort of went back.
excuse for like an abuser.
Yeah.
That
I
doesn't feel
didn't. I
right.
didn't eat lunch when I was a boy, and I turned out fine.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna eat it. It's gonna help you go longer without having to eat.
I'm just making you stronger.
son.
By depriving your body of nutrients
Yeah.
it needs to grow and develop.
And since Terry is essentially a child, he most likely will not notice the abuse.
To be fair, Fisher's only like 3, so like Child Protective Services should not have let him keep Terry. That's on them.
You seem to think that child protective service among gnomes is better than
Yeah, that's
ours.
fair. Part of the reason why they turn out the way they do.
And they always think it's fine to live like this.
Look, see, he only got exploded a little bit. He's still good.
It's just a scorch
You're-
mark.
Your house only blows up 2 times a month? I mean, that's safe enough for a child.
I mean, now the Shores and Watts sits, a few doors down. Like they're on their 7th house this month.
It's a good thing that they invented the reforming house. It comes back at
It
every.
helps
Yeah.
that they're small, so their houses are smaller, so it doesn't take as long to build them back up again.
No, it's a magical object. At every dawn, it reforms the house.
plus, I imagine a fair number of them are, if not artificers, are probably also wizards. So like they can literally just magic up a new house whenever they feel like it.
Something like that. At least in the garden. Outside the garden, maybe not, but in the garden, it's free for all in there. All right, so you all gather up toward the caravans. Ognax is invited to jump in one of the caravan, as he looks like someone who walks a little slower. And you see the dwarves also jump in the cart. And
By the way, how high does a tree jump?
I thought it was about to be about falling with the trees, not jumping. He basically needs a little bit of help, but he's not 3 feet tall. He's not 2.5 feet tall, so he can hoist himself up.
I just like the visual of just like someone doing like a standing jump, but as a tree.
Yeah, no, he's not that strong on jumping like that. But eventually he gets inside the cart, and after a moment, everything starts moving. Who wants to do a perception roll? Or are you letting the caravan make the perception roll as you're moving?
Jorgen.
Holy shit, a net 20.
Hey.
Nice.
Everyone's getting net 20 today.
Yeah, imagine how it's gonna be next time if there's a fight. I'm gonna have to remove 2 monsters from the next fight. All right, so you get on the cart and you start moving, and it's a long day. Not a lot happens around you. Sky is clear because you're in the mountains and there are few peaks going up, so you feel a little bit less the wind, as if you were down and walking in the plains of the Estren Island. So it's interesting, you know, you don't have to speak a little louder, even though it's windy. It's sort of a normal windy. But it's just a long day of hearing the wheels of the cart creak and a few bumps from time to time. Just you hear a rock fall from one of the sides, and okay, bit creepy, but bless you. You have a priest now, so you can be blessed. Then suddenly during the day you sneeze and
Jorg knows bless.
Well, and there's a priest, you know, she's gonna come and bless you.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, bless you.
Oh, man.
So, the day goes by fairly uneventful. It's a bit dusty, and you do see a little bit of vegetation, but the day goes by and nothing of interest happens. However, when the day starts reaching its end, you see the caravan group going, all right, well, you know, towns are a bit more spaced here, so we're gonna have to sleep outside tonight. He turns toward all of you, says, so, do we need a special consideration for this, or we can just set up camp? We have a lot of tents, we can easily let you in, but hey, if you want to add something to this, go right ahead.
Raimi just pulls out his book, plops it on the ground, and for the next 10 minutes just starts waving, or 11 minutes just starts waving a bead in the air.
Okay. Okay, magic. Well, that's always useful. For the rest of us, I guess we're gonna go with the tents.
Yeah.
Alright, so unpack, get ready. Meals in 1 hour. You have Kaiten, who just comes and, alright, well, I guess this is where we start. And she takes out the orb from the garden, and we are in a blackout zone. I guess we're in.
Oh.
And the night is falling, so there's not going to be any communication with the garden until sunrise. Well, I see you have magic. That's always good.
We should be fine. Raimi's got us.
Right. I'm gonna stay with the caravan people. You know, just make them feel a little bit safe, at least safer. If every single adventurer goes inside the magical dome, I think they're gonna feel like we're leaving them as bait. All right, well, like he said, in 1 hour, let's go to bed. And she goes back to the rest of the group, and you actually find yourself setting up camp. The night is rolling in, and a bit of clouds, but no rain. It's a chilly night up here in the mountains. You start the fires. 2 fires are lit up. Caravan people just moves maybe 10 or 20 feet out away from the road, and put all of the carts in a row near a large boulder. And you see tents being pulled up, campfire being lit. One is lit near your bubble, who now has appeared. And you all enjoy a late night meal with the caravan people, with the exception of Remy, who has to at least stay inside the bubble, so otherwise it just goes away. But hey,
no worries though. Just like
I will bring him some food in payment for helping me tinker with vial stoppers.
okay. Alright, and this is where we're going to stop the stream for tonight. As everyone beds down, Fisher, you bring the food to Remy, and you ask him to help you try and figure out how to make a stopper? Is that it?
Yep.
Alright. Jorg, anything... anything you'd like to do? You just sit down, eat a meal.
He's getting all spooked out. Yeah. He's gonna keep near the rest of the group because he doesn't like being out here.
And
Spooky.
Fisher, you have a good moment to give a little bit of water to Terry there. Give him something to eat. I don't know what you're gonna give him, but
I've got that sugar slush something mix that I got in the garden.
Sure.
and also just I guess what would probably also need to be made sure is that because audience's mount is large size, it cannot be in the bubble, so it'll probably be sitting somewhere outside.
Yeah, but anyway, I think
you can dismiss it.
Yeah.
You have to cast the spell again to summon it back.
Oh yeah, but it just reverts back to being a spirit. So we'll ask him next time if he wants to dismiss the beast or let it sleep outside.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass leopard, it can take care of itself probably.
Well, at least it can take a few hits.
Yeah.
Or if nothing else, the caravan might feel safer knowing that there's a mountain lion on their side.
A giant snow leopard watching over them. I don't know why it feels like in what's the name of that? The Crooge? Oh no, what is it?
The Croods?
Croods. Yeah, I think it's the large cat that follows them. I don't know why I keep seeing that, but in black and white. That's always reassuring. Yeah. So, you all gather up and you all gonna get inside, get something to eat, and this is where we're going to pick up next, as there's always plenty of stuff to do when the night comes. You can have something with Terry. Audience might want to say something about what's happening during the day, or Jorg might feel like doing something to get back at Kaiten. I don't know. A lot of things can happen.
Stab somebody and then see I can heal it.
Yeah, I'll see you heal.
Hurting someone just to prove a point.
See, I can get back someone to life.
See, a real healer doesn't need to bring someone back to life because they don't let them die. See,
there you go. There you go.
It's a shame that you missed. It's a shame that you missed your opportunity to give that rebuttal when it was most important.
Yeah.
You give
I
that.
should have thought about that.
You give that.
I'll just wake up
comment.
in the middle of the night and tell her that.
Yeah, just like wakes up in the middle of the night. It's like, oh shit, that's what I should have said.
No, that's a perfect place to end this stream. You're all near the campfire like this. Remy just a little outside, so he's inside the dome, and you hear Jared go, "Ah, I knew I should have answered that." And you have the camera just slowly moving away and fading to black. Ah, damn. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for sharing in this evening of mischief. And nearly getting a fight started with the adventurers of this party and the rest of the garden adventurer, which would have been weird, having to possibly heal someone back from the dead before the adventure start. So, but
I wouldn't have killed it.
well, you'd started to go down
Knocked
that path.
unconscious, maybe. Also, I forgot Firebolt now does 2d10 instead of.
I'm just saying that a level 1 wizard could easily be insta-killed by 16 points of fire damage.
None of them were wizards.
Fortunately,
For a trans and Eldritch Knight, you have to be at least 3rd level for that.
yeah.
And he rolled only ones on his hit dice.
Well,
You still gotta have. You get 10 at 1st level as a fighter.
so
He has a
Minimum,
he has
you
a,
got like
he has
13.
a-
but-
exactly.
he has an 8 constitution.
Well, yeah, that'd go. Oh, man,
All right,
negative
so-
constitution.
So I take a moment to think about all of these wonderful things, and thank you for being with us tonight. I hope you had a pleasant day. And don't worry, if you've just tuned in and you say, "Oh no, I've missed everything," I'm starting rebroadcasts on Fridays. It's placed for a Eastern audience rather than a Western audience, so it's going to be 7:30 Eastern time. But other than that, it's on Friday, and if everything goes well, everything is gonna happen. It's really just gonna be exactly what happened tonight. I'm just pushing it back exactly as it is. So it's the difference is I'm gonna be in the chat. So if you actually are there and you talk, I might actually be able to interact with you. And who knows? Maybe one or two of the players is going to just pop in during the night, say hi, and if you're lucky, you could even ask them a question, like why they wanted to kill people. But hey, you never know. So if you missed it, I'm going to be starting rebroadcasts, and it's always appreciated when you just say hi. Help the stats. I know I keep saying it tonight, but it's exciting. I just learned about it. So thank you for being there. We hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, if you want to support us, you can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also watch the rebroadcast. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, or simply by spreading the word. As the more of you there are, the more chance there will be of someone saying something in a chat. I know I'm being annoying with this. So, see you all technically Friday, but next new episode, Wednesday. And stay safe, and especially in those weird times right now, stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.